Now my, the Hugo Awards. CoNZealand is excited to present the 2020 Hugo Awards to the members of the convention, both here in Aotearoa, New Zealand, and around the world. It is our pleasure to welcome our Toastmaster and MC, George R.R. Martin, to help guide us through the many excellent authors, editors, artists, fan creators, and commentators that have joined us here tonight. So without further ado, we welcome him to stage.
Hi there. Delighted to be able to welcome you all. Whoops, now I'm being told to stop. Technical problems.
We good? Dragos, we good?
We ready to go? We're ready to go again. I seem to be on a delay. I'm looking at myself and I'm definitely not seeing myself as I'm saying what I'm saying. Okay, let's start again. Hi, I'm delighted to welcome you all to the 2020 Hugo Awards ceremony. Anyway, let's give out some awards.
We have Lodestar now, though, and this year's nominees are Catfishing on Catnet by Naomi Kritzer, 14. Deep Light by Frances Harding, Macmillan. Dragon Pearl by Yoon-Ha Lee, Disney Hyperion. Minor Mage by T. Kingfisher, Argyle. Riverland by Fran Weil, Amulet. And The Wicked King by Holly Black, Little Brown Hotkey.
And now, we go live to Santa Fe to announce the winner of the Lodestar Award.
It's a good night for cats. The winner is Catfishing on Catnet by Naomi Kritzer.
We would like to send congratulations to Naomi Kritzer for winning the Lodestar Award. Kamau Te Wehi.
Thank you all so very much for this honor. Catfishing on Catnet is a story about the power of online friendship, about how online friends are real friends and the virtual world is a real place that can provide kindness, support, love, meaning, and understanding. This year has forced all of us to explore ways to connect through virtual space and to discover both its strengths and its limitations. Thank you to everyone who read this book, and I'm so glad that it spoke to you. I would like to thank my editor, Susan Chang, for her insight, patience, and encouragement, as well as all the members of the Weirdsmiths Writers Group, Lyda Morehouse, Eleanor Arneson, Theo Lorenz, Adams Temple, and Kelly Barnhill. Finally, I would like to thank my husband, Ed, and my children, Molly and Kira, who are just off camera, who have given me love, support, belief, and occasional slack with household chores when deadlines were imminent. I love everyone in this bar. Thank you all so much.
The second of the two Naughty Hugos that we will be presenting tonight is the Astounding Award for the Best New Writer in Science Fiction or Fantasy, sponsored by Dell Magazine. Tonight, we have 6 young men and women sitting and sweating all around the world, just as I did back in 1973. Here's nominees for the Astounding Award for Best New Writer, sponsored by Dell Magazine, are Sam Hawke, R.F. Huang, Jen Lyons, Nibedita Sen, Tasha Suri, and Emily Tesh.
And here I am again. with another envelope. The winner of this year's Astounding Award for Best New Writer is Rebecca Kwang. Rebecca Kwang, congratulations, our Astounding New Writer.
Hi, thank you so much. Thank you to everyone who voted. It means a lot. And thank you to my agent, Hannah Bowman, and my editors, David Primero. Hi, thank you so much. Thank you to everyone who voted. It means a lot. And thank you to my agent, Hannah Bowman, and my editors, David Primerico and Natasha Barden, for everything you've done for my career. Just say quickly, the Astounding Award is the award for the best new writer. But if I were talking to a new writer coming to the genre in 2020, I would tell them, well, if you are an author of color, you will very likely be paid only a fraction of the advance that white writers are getting. You will be pigeonholed, you will be miscategorized, you will be lumped in with other authors of color whose work doesn't remotely resemble yours. The chances are very high that you will be sexually harassed at conventions or the target of racist microaggressions, or very often just overt racism. People will mispronounce your name repeatedly and in public, even people who are on your publishing team. Your cover art will be racist, and you'll have to push against that. And the way people talk about you and your literature will be tied to your identity and your personal trauma instead of the stories you're actually trying to tell. And if I had known all of that when I went into the industry, I don't know if I would have done it. So I think that the best way that we can celebrate new writers is to make this industry more welcoming for everyone.
And now we come to the Hugo Awards. Check out the Hugo website and you can see many of the past Hugos over the years. This year's base was designed by a New Zealand artist, John Flower. So we're going to bring him out now to hear a bit about his design for CoNZealand's Hugo Award. John Flower, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello, my name is John Flower. I live in Palmerston North, New Zealand, and this year I had an opportunity to present a design for the base for this year's Hugo Awards. And the concept I came up with was to create a base made out of black glass, and on the base we have a bunch of hands, and they were used by early explorers, the Māori who came to New Zealand, to navigate through the Pacific. And the idea is that depending on how many fingers that you hold up, you can measure the angle between a set of stars and the horizon and work out where you are. For example, if you have the Southern Cross, which is made up of 4 stars, you can measure the distance between the top star and the bottom star, and if you rotate your hand like that, so it's say 3 fingers distance, down to the horizon, then you know that you have due south when you're in the southern hemisphere. So each of these gold hands is a different number of degrees, and the constellations within there are known in New Zealand as Matariki. In other places they're known as the Pleiades or Subaru in Japan. And there are a group of stars that show up in New Zealand somewhere between May and June, and in New Zealand they're recognised as the beginning of the new year. We did all the design work using open source software like Blender and Inkscape. So here we have a sheet of poa. Poa is a mollusk found off the shores of New Zealand. They've taken the shell of it and flattened it out. We have used a laser to cut a spiral design in it. The spiral design combines the Milky Way with the pattern of endemic ferns of New Zealand. So we've cut out from here, and if we move the sheet, we can see what we've created. So that's cut out from the middle. And the idea is that on top of this poa, we will seat a timber design on top like so, and the rocket will go in the middle like that.
To present two of the fan Hugos this evening, I am pleased and proud to present CoNZealand's fan guest of honor, Rose Mitchell.
This year we are meeting virtually because of the unique circumstances we find ourselves in. It is in the nature of fandom to embrace, explore and master new technologies. From mimeographs to photocopiers to email, we have always been on the cutting edge, finding each other and fandom any way we can. In that spirit, I am proud to present the 2020 Hugo Award for Best Fancast and Best Fanzine. Both of these categories represent the best traditions of fandom. The nominees and their colleagues around the world connect us, even as so many must stay isolated. Thank you. Your work makes the world a little less lonely right now. We begin with the awards with the Best Fancast. As so many of us find ourselves missing friends, family and fandom, podcasts have been an opportunity to invite new friends into our home. And informed about the things we love. Every topic imaginable is on tap, and no genre has taken to podcasting like our community. Well, maybe true crime, but that's a different convention. Tonight's nominees are a part of a long tradition of taking new ways to communicate and bring their listeners a little closer together. The nominees for Best Fancast are Jennifer Mace, Claire Rousseau's YouTube channel, produced and presented by Claire Rousseau, the Coode Street podcast, presented by Jonathan Strawn and Gary K. Wolfe, Galactic Suburbia, presented by Alicia Krasnerstein, Alexandra Pierce and Tansy Rayner Roberts, producer Andrew Finch, Our Opinions Are Correct, presented by Annalee Newitz and Charlie Jane Anders, The Skiffy and Fanty Show, presented by Jen Zink and Sean Duke.
Rhea, who won Best Fancast?
Let's find out. Breaking the seal. Here we go. And the winner is Our Opinions Are Correct, presented by Annalee Newitz and Charlie Jane Anders. Yay!
We would like to send congratulations to Our Opinions Are Correct, presented by Hadley Newitz and Charlie J. Anders for winning the Hugo Award for Best Fancast. Come out the way.
Thank you so much for this award. This really means so much to us.
Yeah, it's especially great because we're an entirely listener-supported podcast, so you listening and donating is what helps us live.
Our podcast is explicitly about the relationship between science fiction and society, and we believe that the unexamined story is not worth reading or writing. And science fiction is political because everything we do is political, and we believe that stories become richer and more meaningful the more we analyze them.
And right now, more than ever, we need stories that tell us about how we can rise up and change the world. But at the same time, we also need stories that help us escape, just to ease our pain and give us hope that this too shall pass. So we thank you so much for writing those stories and for believing in them. And also, we thank our producer, Veronica Simonetti, at Women's Audio Mission in San Francisco, where we record this podcast. And I'd like to thank Jesse Burns, and Chris Palmer, my partners, who put up with all this nonsense. So thank you so much, you guys. Bye.
In the 1930s, fanzines have been a vital lifeline connecting fans with each other when there was almost no other way. As new technologies come online, fanzines adapted but never lost sight of their core mission to connect, celebrate and inspire fans and keep fandom alive and vibrant. Many fanzines are online. Some still get mailed around, but they are all spring from a deep passion for genre, community and fandom. No more than ever, that connects us should be cherished and celebration. Fanzines represent a thread back to the very beginning of SF and fandom, and tonight's nominees are all examples of the variety and depth you can find in today's generation. The nominees for Best Fanzines are The Book Smugglers, editors Anno Grillo and Thea James. Galactic Journey, editor Janice Marcus, senior writers Rosemary Benton, Lorelei Marcus and Victoria Silverwolf. Journey Planet, editors James Bacon, Christopher J. Garcia, Alyssa McKersey, Anne Gry, Chuck Surface, John Coxon and Stephen H. Silver. Nerds of a Feather, Flock Together, editors Adri Joy, Joe Sherry, Vance Kotria and The G. Quick Sip Reviews, editor Charles Passeur. The Rec Centre, editors Elizabeth Minkle and Gavia Baker Whitelaw.
And the winner for Best Fanzine is The Book Smugglers, editor Anna Grillo and Thea James.
We are being wholly, utterly honest when we say, holy guacamole, we did not see this coming. Thank you, fellow fans, readers, writers, and creators so much. We know that it can be frowned upon to be political at the Hugos, but we also know that everything is political. So F that. We've been running the Book Smugglers for 10 years, over 10 years, as two loud, opinionated women on the internet, one of us Filipino-American and the other Brazilian. And we've been giving space to diverse voices to be heard, read, and seen. And we know that's even more important now than it has ever been, especially in the fight for social justice in the face of fascism, systemic oppression, and racism around the world. Black Lives Matter. So thank you so much for this award, our very first Hugo. Thank you for seeing us, for hearing us, for believing that our work matters. Thank you to all of our fellow nominees and to our regular contributors, especially Charles Pacer and AC Wise. Thank you to all of the readers and friends who have supported us throughout the years. To everyone who keeps coming back to read the Book Smugglers, we are nothing without you. Special shout out to the Sparkle Rocket and to the Filipino contingent at the Hugos. It's also worth noting that Ana is now the first Brazilian to ever win a Hugo. Finally, a huge thank you to the television show Lost, without which the Book Smugglers would never have happened. Thank you again from the bottom of our SFF loving hearts, and remember to stay safe, wash your hands, and wear a mask. Thanks.
We have two of this year's winners here with us tonight to present the Hugo Award for Best Fan Writer and Best Fan Artist. I am honored to present Duff winner Erin Underwood and Guff winner Allison Scott. Puff winner Little Jackie Papers could not be with us tonight.
Hi, I'm Erin Underwood. I'm this year's Down Under Fan Fund delegate. Science fiction and fantasy fans are notoriously passionate about their favorite works, and many of them are also gifted writers with a unique and irreplaceable role within the science fiction and fantasy community. Fan writers are the voices of fandom, asking the hard questions, satiating the curious, and creating new content that we, their fellow fans, are hungry to consume. They exemplify the passion, curiosity, and creativity of our community with every word that they write. Tonight, we celebrate the best of them. So let's get to it. The finalists for the 2020 Fan Writer Hugo Award are Cora Buellert, James Davis Nichol, Alastair Stewart, Bogey Cox, Paul Weimer, and Adam Whitehead. Good luck. The finalists for the 2020 Fan Writer Hugo Award are Cora Buellert, James Davis Nichol, Alastair Stewart, Bogey Cox, Paul Weimer, and Adam Whitehead. Good luck. Hi, I'm Erin Underwood. I'm this year.
Now, we go live to Santa Fe to announce the winner of the Hugo Award for Best Fan Writer.
And the winner is Bogey Cox. Yay!
We would like to send congratulations to Bogey Cox for winning the Hugo Award for Best Fan Writer.
I would like to celebrate by spreading the word even further. I'm going to be recommending you more fan writers and book reviewers who you might want to follow and read and vote for. You probably voted for me, at least in part, because you like the lists that I make, so now I'm going to have a list. First of all, Lashon M1 currently reviews for Lightspeed, and she's an awesome fiction writer as well. Check her out everywhere you can find her. LaTonya Pennington has the best takes on magical girl themes and also the best comics recommendations. Samira Nadkarni, who reviews for Strange Horizons right now, has some very lengthful and insightful reviews that I really recommend reading. Silvia Moreno Garcia always has the unconventional and the really wide breadth of books within SFF and also outside of it, and also I'm gonna say buy her books and make the Yellow Duck happy. Charles Pezer is on the ballot in Best Fanzine for Quicksip reviews. He has an immense breadth of short story reviewing, so please check that out. Vanessa Fogg also reviews short stories with so much grace and insight. I really like her reviews. Maria Haskins is awesome, and her monthly short story roundups are always a delight. Make sure to seek them out. Amal El Mokhtar, who you might know better as a fiction writer and a poet, but who's also a very thoughtful reviewer, so please don't miss her writing. Tsana Delichva has detailed reviews of both comics and fiction in SFF for all ages. She's one of the highlights of my Goodreads account. And finally, Corey Alexander knows everything there is to know about queer romance and shares kindly both within and outside of SFF. Ooh. I hope you enjoyed the list. Thank you to everyone for their writing, and also thank you to my family who support me when I get frustrated on the internet, especially my spouse Orby Lemberg and their kid Mati, who are both very encouraging. I also want to say a few words about life that are not going to be as cheerful. In both of my countries of citizenship, political extremism has been on the rise. In the US, anti-blackness, anti-indigenous, racist and anti-immigrant sentiments have increased, accepted in the public sphere. While in Hungary, the government is demolishing independent media and curbing the civil rights of minorities, while the EU stands by and does nothing. Most recently, trans people have been attacked. It would be false to assume that these events do not influence speculative fiction, and fandom in particular. Some of what I have to say in English is unpublishable in Hungarian, and who knows how long it's going to be publishable in English either. I often feel like the simple act of speaking is an uphill battle in itself, at conventions, online on social media, anywhere really. So if you feel like that, you're not alone. I am going to continue speaking as much as I can and working towards solidarity as best as I can. Thank you for listening, és akkor magyarul is, köszönöm szépen.
Hi, I'm Alison Scott and I'm this year's Guff delegate. The Going Under, or Get Up and Over fan fund exists to forge links between European and Australian and New Zealand fandom. I'm a UK fanzine fan and con runner who loves meeting new people, and I'm thrilled to be virtually visiting New Zealand this weekend. The Best Fan Artist Hugo is awarded to an artist or cartoonist whose work has appeared through publication in semi-prozines or fanzines or through other public non-professional display, including at conventions. I'm very honoured to announce that the finalists for the 2020 Best Fan Artist Hugo are Ian Clark, Sarah Felix, Grace P. Fong, Meg Frank, Ariella Hausman, and Elise Matheson.
And now, we go live to Santa Fe to announce the winner of the Hugo Award for Best Fan Artist.
Oh, and the winner is Elise Matheson. Yay!
We would like to send congratulations to Elise Matheson for winning the Hugo Award for Best Fan Artist. Kamal Kurehi.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being part of the haiku earring parties. Thank you to everybody who ever wrote something inspired by the shinies. Thank you for making this my best job ever. Thank you for inspirations and collaborations, and special thanks to Amal Elmotar and Fran Wild for those. Thank you to Shauna Brown, best road trip convention room buddy ever. Art is not a sprint or a marathon. Art is a relay race. We are given something, we build it into something new, and we pass it along. Powerful art can call you to the work that needs you to do it. The art recognizes you, and you recognize it. You take it, you make what you can of it, and you pass it along, because art that is passed along lives. Thank you so much for this. I look forward to seeing the art we all make together in the future.
This year's finalists for Best Semi-Prozine are Beneath Ceaseless Skies, editor Scott H. Andrews. Escape Pod, editors Muir Lafferty and S.B. Divya. Assistant editor Benjamin C. Kinney. Audio producers Adam Pratt and Summer Brooks. Hosts Tina Connolly and Alastair Stewart. Fireside Magazine, editor Julia Rios. Managing editor Elsa Sunderson. Copy editor Chell Parker, social coordinator Meg Frank, publisher and art director Pablo DiFendini, founding editor Brian White. Thea, magazine of black speculative fiction, Executive Editor Troy Wiggins, Editors Ebony Dunbar, Brant Lambert, L.D. Lewis, Danny Lohr, Brandon O'Brien, and Caleb Russell. Strange Horizons, Vanessa Rose Finn, Catherine Kaj, A.J. Odasso, Dan Hartland, Joyce Cheng, Dante Lewis, and the Strange Horizons staff. Uncanny Magazine, Editors-in-Chief Lynn M. Thomas and Michael Damian Thomas, Nonfiction Managing Editor Mishi Trada, Managing Editor Chimedom Ohegbu, podcast producers Erica Ensign and Stephen Shapansky. For the Hugo for Best Semi-Prozine, Uncanny Magazine, Editors-in-Chief Lynn M. Thomas and Michael Damian Thomas, Nonfiction Managing Editor Misha Trota, Managing Editor Chimedom Ohegbu, podcast producers Erica Ensign and Stephen Shapansky. Uncanny, come ye forward and collect your Hugo.
We would like to send congratulations to Lynn M. Thomas, Michael Damian Thomas, Mishi Trota, Chimedom Ohegbu, and team for winning the Hugo Award for Best Semi-Prozine. Come out and read.
We are so deeply honored by this Best Semi-Prozine Hugo Award, and we really wish that all of us could have been together in person tonight. It was such a fabulous group of finalists filled with friends and colleagues, so many wonderful magazines. Everybody should go out and subscribe to all these magazines and read them because they are truly marvelous.
Uncanny Magazine is the work of numerous people, so we want to thank our 2019 regular staff of Michi Trota, Shimedo Mohebu, Erica Ensign, Stephen Shapansky, Joy Piedmont, Angel Cruz, and Carolyn M. Yoakum. All of our submissions editors, every contributor, the CoNZealand membership, and of course, our ombudsman and world's greatest daughter, Caitlin.
And finally, a thank you to every single member of the Space Unicorn Ranger Corps. We couldn't do this without the support of our community.
Shine on, Space Unicorns!
Hi, I'm Chime de Mohebu, Uncanny Magazine's managing editor, and this is my first ever Hugo win. I'm the first Black woman editor to win a Hugo in the Semi-Prozine category. Not the first to be nominated, but among the first. And it's an odd position to be in because Black women have always been here and deserving in the genre. Not just as writers, but also as curators, editors, and arbiters of what speculative fiction can look like. So yeah, this has been a long time coming. And it's been a long year. We are literally in the middle of a pandemic, and despite that, Black people here in Canada, down in the States, around the world, and yes, in science fiction and fantasy publishing, have had to fight for rights and respect we should already have. So we look to speculative fiction for respite or for stories to top off our rage, to imagine futures and presents free of police and policing, and for stories that are with us in the fight and that remind us what we're fighting for. I'm so glad that Uncanny has gotten to publish some of these stories, alongside other excellent publications doing the same. Thank you to our authors for letting Uncanny be home to your words, and thank you so much to my teammates at the magazine, without which this wouldn't have been possible. Editors-in-Chief Lynn and Michael Thomas, Managing Editor Michi Trota, Nonfiction Editor Elsa Hunison, Assistant Editor Angel Cruz, Podcast Producers Erica Ensign and Stephen Shapansky, Podcast Reader Joy Piedmont, Interviewer Carolyn M. Yoakum, and all of our submissions editors. Black writers, Black stories, and Black editors matter now. We mattered in the past, despite racist opinions and policies, and we will matter in the futures that we create, the histories that we reclaim, the horrors that we rework, and all of the speculative genres and arts. Thank you.
Thank you to everyone who voted for and who has supported Uncanny. It's an honor to share this category with the teams behind Beneath Sleepless Skies, Escape Pod, Fireside, Faya, and Strange Horizons, all of whom are doing stellar and inspiring work in SFF. I'm proud to call you my colleagues. This Hugo Award is especially meaningful because 2019 was my last year of eligibility as part of Uncanny staff. I can't express how grateful I am to have this award as an end cap to my time with Uncanny, which has been such a huge part of my life. To all of my 2019 Uncanny teammates, thank you for everything. I'm so proud of the work that we did together and thankful to have contributed to such an amazing publication and community alongside you all. I'm especially excited to see how Chimmy is now making the role of managing editor her own, and I am so lucky to have gotten the chance to know her while we were on staff together. I'm so proud of her. Being Uncanny's managing and nonfiction editor was life-changing, and while I took many lessons from my time on staff, the most meaningful one to me is this. When you have the means to widen the doorway and bring others with you, especially if you have power and privilege, do it. We have a responsibility to be aware of the power we have and how we choose to use it, because those choices can change everything, and that is especially important to remember now. So keep choosing wisely, Space Unicorns. I will always believe in you. Thank you so much.
The Hugo ceremony is, of course, a time to honor the amazing work done by authors, fans, and editors. But it is also a time to remember the members of our community who are no longer with us. This has been a particularly difficult year. Under normal circumstances, Worldcon is our chance to get together with distant friends, many of whom we only see once a year, and forge a large science fictional family. In the science fictionally future year of 2020, we're learning new ways to keep in touch with each other. The COVID-19 pandemic, which has forced CoNZealand to be held virtually, is not just a minor inconvenience taking away our ability to travel. It is a deadly disease that has stolen members of our community from us. Since we saw each other last year in Dublin, we have had to say goodbye to past Worldcon guests of honor, convention runners, editors, authors, and fans. Let's take a few moments to remember our lost family members.
This year's nominees for Best Professional Artists are Tommy Arnold, Rovina Kai, Galen Dara, John Piccaccio, Yuko Shimizu, Elisa Wienens,
And now we go live to Santa Fe to announce the winner of the Hugo Award for Best Professional Artist.
Thank you, and welcome back to Santa Fe. And once again, I am going to delegate the envelope opening duty to Rhea Golden.
And the winner is John Piccaccio.
John Piccaccio.
Yay!
We would like to send congratulations to John Piccaccio for winning the Hugo Award for Best Professional Artist. Kamau Lewihi.
Are we live? Let's see if we're ready to go. I see go, go, go. I'm still waiting for the big New Zealand keyword. I see go, 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 so I'm going to go, go, go. Here we are. This is unexpected. The locust was unexpected too. That solstice earlier was unexpected. I don't know why this is my year. This is a bizarre year. This is a awful year for so many of us. First, I got to recognize who I'm with in this category. Tommy Arnold is blowing doors right now. I mean, the stuff that he's doing for these, the covers for Tor right now are just amazing. Galen Dara, I've loved your work for the last decade. You know, you already won Best Fan Writer. You're going to win, I mean, Best Fan Writer, Best Fan Artist. I think you got that in 2012, and you're going to get Best Pro Artist before you're done. You're going to have both of these things. Rovina Kai, I'm a super fan of your work. I adore it. Alyssa, I'm new to your work, and I love the way you handle yourself. I love your work. You're a superstar. And Yuko Shimizu, you're amazing. I mean, you're beyond SFF. You're loved throughout the whole contemporary illustration world, and I adore your stuff. Thank you to Irene Gallo, Lee Bardugo, my literary agent, actually, Joanna Volpe, and I did say literary agent, for supporting me this year. Shout out to all my Mexicanics family. I love you guys so much, and I look forward to you guys being in this position for many, many years to come. You know, we were here 2 years ago in San Jose together at a Worldcon, and you guys are going to be in this position over and over and over, and I'll be there with you. And just thank you to everybody who supported Loteria, which I know is a lot of why I'm getting this year. That is my sort of independent project that I've been creating for the last several years. It's a series, a visual series that will be eventually turned into a book. And I'm very proud of the work, and I've got a lot more to go. I'm just going to sign off here by saying that we've got a very tough next several weeks heading into November, and we're going to have to fight to get through this. We're going to have to stick together, and we've got a lot of battling to do. So let's go. Big job ahead. I love you guys, all of you out there in the Worldcon community, and thank you so much. Signing off. Take care.
And so here we go with the winner of the Best Editor Short Form. The nominees are Neil Clark, Ellen Datlow, Cece Finley, Jonathan Strawn, Lynn M. Thomas and Michael Damian Thomas, and Sheila Williams.
Yes. Back to Santa Fe. I have the editor. I have the envelope. I don't have the editor. They wouldn't fit in the envelope. And the winner is the amazing, astounding Ellen Datlow.
Ends.
Okay.
Now.
Okay, I didn't see the graphic, but all right. Hi. By the way, George, I really love your hat. Thank you. Thank you for this great honor. Thank you to CoNZealand for your hard work in creating the first virtual Worldcon. I know it's been difficult, and I know it's disappointing that we aren't all there in person, and hopefully we'll be able to do another one in the future. Thank you to my fellow nominees. You are all amazing. Thank you to the voters. And finally, thank you to all the writers who make my job such a pleasure. I hope to see you all in person next year in Washington, D.C. Thank you.
And now we come to the companion Hugo, Best Editor Long Form. The nominees are Sheila Gilbert, Britt Vida, Diana Foe, Devi Pillai, Miriam Weinberg, and Nava Wolf.
And now we go live to Santa Fe to announce the winner of the Hugo Award for Best Editor, Long Form.
Best Editor Long Form. Well, we had our cat winner earlier, and now we have our wolf winner. The winner is...
Any moment, we would like to send congratulations to Novella Wolf for winning the Hugo Award for Best Editor, Long Form. Come out till we.
I won a Hugo Award. And while I was expecting a new baby, there's a minute when I felt very alone and isolated from this industry I had grown to love and the people within it. Sorry, give me a sec. But it only lasted a minute. The moment I announced my news, the tremendous and instant outpouring of love and support from the people who had made this industry feel like a home immediately reminded me that I would always have a home here, no matter what. That this industry, and you brilliant, talented people who make it so weird and so wonderful, had made a space for me. And so this Hugo Award, while already so tremendously gratifying, means more to me than ever before. It is once again worth noting that we work in a world, in an industry, where women, people of color, and people of marginalized backgrounds can be award-winning in their fields and still have to deal with getting passed over and marginalized by the people that they work with. It is not appropriate, and it is not okay. And as an industry, we have to work to make the changes we want to see in our world. And that is one of the reasons why our work as editors, as shapers of stories, is so important. Because when the world is feeling dark and hope is hard to come by, now more than ever, it is essential that we look to our fiction to help us shape the futures we want to see. That is why the books we publish, the stories we tell, are critical, now and always, and why I feel both overwhelmed and lucky to know that I've had a hand in helping these stories reach the people who need them the most. A few quick thank yous. Thank you first of all to my family, to my husband and my 3 small humans who I'm lucky enough to get to weather a pandemic with. I couldn't ask for a better quarantine crew. And thank you to my parents and my siblings, who have always been my biggest and best supporters. Thank you to my dear friends and colleagues at Subterranean Press, where I'm lucky enough to be editing novellas. Yanni, Bill, Geraldine, Gwenda, and the entire subpress team are some of the very best people in our industry, and I'm honored to get to make beautiful books with them. Thank you to the staff of CoNZealand, who worked so hard to put together a virtual convention and a virtual Hugo Awards, to bring us together to celebrate the remarkable works of our industry, even while we're physically so far apart. Thank you to my fellow nominees, both the 5 other women in my category and the finalists on the whole ballot. You are all brilliant, and it is an honor simply to be included in your number. And thank you, most of all, to the brilliant writers whose books I've had the privilege of working on. Thank you for trusting me with your works, your characters, your worlds. Thank you for letting me help bring your stories to the readers who need them. Thank you for letting me be your partner in trying to change this world for the better, one story at a time. Finally, thank you once again to all of you for this award. I'm overwhelmed and honored to accept. Thank you.
Dramatic presentation is another area that warrants 2 rockets, one for short form, one for long form. In the years since the category has been split, short form has tended to go to television episodes, more often than not, while long form has been dominated by feature films. At any rate, it's my honor and privilege to present them here. I wish we could all be together, but please give your most rousing virtual welcome to Richard Taylor and Tanya Roger of the Weta Workshop.
Finalists for Best Dramatic Presentation Short Form are The Good Place, The Answer, written by Daniel Schofield, directed by Valeria Migliasi Collins, Fremulin 3 Arts Entertainment, Universal Television.
Find us the answer?
Oh, well, Eleanor, this kind of thing doesn't have just one answer. There might be 800. There could be 0. Who knows? You know, the journey is the destination, right? Let's get to work.
The Expanse, Cibola Byrne, written by Daniel Abraham, Ty Frank, and Naren Shankar, directed by Breck Eisner. Amazon Prime Video.
Watchmen, A God Walks into Abar, written by Jeff Jensen and Damon Lindelof. Directed by Nicole Castle, HBO.
I was already in love with you.
Before you even saw me?
I don't experience the concept of before.
So, there's no moment?
Moment?
A moment when you realize I'm in love.
The Mandalorian, Redemption, written by Jon Favreau, directed by Taika Waititi, Disney+.
Hey, look, here you go. See? Take a peek. Everything's fine. What is that? I don't know. It's a pet or something. A pet? But you... Ow! Serves you right. Stop that.
Watchmen, This Extraordinary Being, written by Damon Lindelof and Cord Jefferson, directed by Stephen Williams, HBO.
I'm not angry.
Hey boy, I'm your husband, Calvin. We have 3 children.
You don't know what's really happening here.
Doctor Who, Resolution, written by Chris Chibnall, directed by Wayne Yip, BBC.
Doctor, I don't like it when you go quiet. This is the DNA of the most dangerous creature in the universe.
Does it have a name?
The Dalek.
And now we go live to Santa Fe to announce the winner of the Hugo Award for Best Dramatic Presentation, Short Form.
Best Dramatic Presentation, Short Form. And sitcoms rule. The winner is The Good Place, The Answer, written by Daniel Schofield, directed by Valeria
Migliassi Collins, Tremulon, 3 Arts Entertainment, and Universal Television.
We would like to send congratulations to producers Josh Segal and Dylan Morgan and the team for winning the Hugo Award for Best Dramatic Presentation Long Form. Hamau Tewihi.
Hi, Hugos. Thank you for honoring The Good Place one last time. We humbly accept this award on behalf of the writer of the episode, Daniel Schofield, director, Valeria Migliassi Collins, the creator of The Good Place, Mike Schur, Morgan Sackett, Drew Goddard, David Miner, our entire production team, plus our fantastically talented cast, including Ted, Kristen, Jamila, Manny, Darcy, and the incredible William Jackson Harper, who somehow, magically, made us all believe that someone as nerdy as Chidi could be as hot as Will. This is a true honor, and we thank you.
The finalists for Best Dramatic Presentation Long Form are Avengers Endgame, screenplay by Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely, directed by Anthony Russo and Joe Russo, Marvel Studios.
Captain Marvel, screenplay by Anna Bowden, Ryan Fleck and Geneva Robertson Dewart, directed by Anna Bowden and Ryan Fleck, Walt Disney Pictures, Marvel Studios, Animal Logic, Australia.
Good Omens, written by Neil Gaiman, directed by Douglas McKinnon, Amazon Studios, BBC Studios, Narrativia, The Blank Corporation.
Russian Dolls Season 1, created by Natasha Lyonne, Leslie Headland and Amy Poehler, directed by Leslie Headland, Jamie Babbitt and Natasha Lyonne. 3 Arts Entertainment, Jax Media, Netflix, Paper Kite Productions and Universal Television.
Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, screenplay by Chris Terrio and J.J. Abrams, directed by J.J. Abrams, Walt Disney Pictures, Lucasfilms, Bad Robot.
Us, written and directed by Jordan Peele, Monkey Paw Productions, Universal Pictures.
And now we go live to Santa Fe to announce the winner of the Hugo Award for Best Dramatic Presentation, Long Form.
To help me with the envelope opening duties this time, we have another of my mighty minions, Elias Gallegos, a crew member from the starship Night Flyer, which has unfortunately encountered some trouble in deep space. Elias, can you tell us who won the dramatic presentation in long form before you go off and die horribly?
I can. Our winner is Good Omens, written by Neil Gaiman, directed by Douglas McKinnon, Amazon Studios, BBC Studios, Narrativa, The Blank Corporation. Congratulations.
And somewhere Terry.
We would like to send congratulations to Neil Gaiman and the whole team for winning the Hugo Award for Best Dramatic Presentation, Long Form. Kamau Tewihi.
I made Good Omens because Terry Pratchett asked me to. I didn't want to. I had absolutely no intention of spending years of my life writing and then show running a television series. But Terry asked, and I owed him that, and I did. I had lots of collaborators, hundreds of collaborators making this, all the amazing people on our cast and crew. I particularly want to thank the indomitable Douglas McKinnon, our director, and Michael Sheen and David Tennant, our angel and our demon. But the most important collaborator for me wasn't there. He was there in my imagination, looking over my shoulder at everything I wrote at everything we shot and telling me exactly what he thought of it, often in no uncertain terms. Terry never won a Hugo. The only time he was nominated for a Hugo Award, he actually withdrew the novel from consideration, telling people that if he had a book nominated for a Hugo, it would ruin his Worldcon. Worrying. It wasn't that he didn't care, it was that he cared too much. For all of the awards that he got, for all the acclamation, for all of the honors and the love heaped upon Terry during his lifetime, the one he really cared about was the Hugo Award. And he would grumble about it to me, pointing out that he was never going to get one because they wouldn't give the Hugo Award to anything funny. Thank you, all of you, for giving Terry Pratchett his Hugo Award.
And now we come to Best Graphic Story. This is the work of this year's nominee for Best Graphic, Not Pornographic Novel. They are Die, Volume 1, Fantasy Heartbreaker by Kieran Gillen and Stephanie Hans. Letters by Clayton Cowles from Image. LaGuardia, written by Nnedi Okorafor. Art by Tanya Ford. Colors by James Devlin. Berger Books, Dark Horse. Monstrous, Volume 4, The Chosen. Written by Marjorie Liu. Art by Sana Takeda. Image. Mooncakes by Wendy Zhu and Suzanne Walker. Letters by Jomet Gill. Oni Press, Lionforge. Paper Girls, Volume 6. Written by Brian K. Vaughan. Drawn by Cliff Chang. Colors by Matt Wilson. Letters by Jared K. Fletcher from Image. The Wicked and the Divine, Volume 9, OK, by Kieran Gillen and Jamie McKelvey. Colors by Matt Wilson. Letters by Clayton Cowles from Image.
And now, we go live to Santa Fe to announce the winner of the Hugo Award for Best Graphic Story or Comic.
And who will win? The winner is LaGuardia, written by Nnedi Okorafor. Art by Tanya Ford. Colors by James Devlin. Berger Books, Dark Horse.
Congratulations.
Okay, am I on? Okay. Hi. Wow. Okay. Done, Dark Horse team. This is fantastic. What a time for this graphic novel. This story is it's about identity, it's about immigration, it's about prejudice, diversity, travel, humanity, culture, and aliens. So much. I'm just really proud and honored and very, very surprised right now. The cover itself is a protest. I hope book joins groups like Black Lives Matter in amplifying those voices in this country, worldwide, who are calling for justice, equality, and humanity. I want to specifically thank my editor, Karen Berger, for being an awesome editor, but also it was putting that protest on the cover. That was her idea. It was just a really great call. Both Tana and I were really nervous about putting something that political on the cover, but Karen is an awesome editor, and she knew. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Tana. Of course, you are amazing. The detail and just you bringing your own strangeness and weirdness, my strangeness and weirdness. We're just awesome together. Thank you. My cat is right in front of it. Thank you, James. James Devlin, you rock the colors. It's you just did a beautiful job. And thank you to the Dark Horse team. Amazing, just amazing. And thank you, readers. Thank you, Hugo voters, friends, everyone. And also thank you, Eisner. This story was inspired by a contract with God. And just thank you. Thank you so much. This is really amazing.
Best Related Work. To present this year's Hugo Award for the Best Related Work of 2019, it is my great privilege to introduce the Hugo, Nebula, and World Fantasy Award-winning author of Who Fears Death and Binti, Nnedi Okorafor.
Hi everyone, Nnedi Okorafor here. I have been recording this for how long, and I cannot think of anything productive to say because so much is going on right now that it's hard to really bring it all together. But I hope everyone's staying safe. I hope everyone is enjoying and reading science fiction and fantasy as well. So, that said, the finalists for Best Related Work are Becoming Superman, My Journey from Poverty to Hollywood by J. Michael Straczynski. Joanne Russ by Gwyneth Jones, University of Illinois Press, Modern Masters of Science Fiction. The Lady from the Black Lagoon, Hollywood Monsters and the Lost Legacy of Millicent Patrick by Mallory O'Meara, Hanover Square. The Pleasant Profession of Robert A. Heinlein by Farah Mendelssohn, Unbound. 2019 John W. Campbell Award Acceptance Speech by Jeanette Ng. And Worlds of Ursula Le Guin, produced and directed by Arwen Curry.
And this year's winner is the gravity's got me. Jeanette Ng, 2019 John W. Campbell Award Acceptance Speech.
We would like to send congratulations to Jeanette Ng for winning the Hugo Award for Best Related Work. Come out, the win.
Pulling down memorials to dead racists is not the erasing of history, it is how we make history. And I am proud to celebrate that with you here. And I am humbled to have contributed in this small way to these conversations, these revolutions within and without our genre. Not that I ever thought I was being controversial. Moorcock has been calling Campbell a fascist for years. But I like Moorcock's context. My voice is shriller and I'm not white. And that makes me sound angrier. I become graceless and vulgar. But I really didn't think I was saying anything you didn't already know. I wasn't speaking to make change. I thought everyone already knew, and this was okay. They were okay with it. It was what normal looked like to me. So thank you, everyone who made it happen, who actually made it happen. Thank you to Alec Novella Lee, who wrote the book and brought the receipts. I am grateful you all proved me wrong. In this, at least. Because it doesn't end here. It would be irresponsible for me to stand here and congratulate us as a community without reminding us that the fight isn't over and it extends well beyond the pages of our books. My dusty academic soul does not dream easily of futures, so I can't make pronouncements about our genre, except I want it to be something beyond my feeble imagination. I also know that for many, it will be truths as old as their bones. Forgotten things become new only because we forget, and historians like me can be just as guilty. Still, let us be better than the legacies that have been left us. Let them not be prophecies. Let there be a revolution in our time. Last time I gave a speech at Worldcon, it was literally hours after a march in Hong Kong, my most cyberpunk of cities. Since then, things have gotten worse. Each of our worlds shrink in a pandemic. I mean, I'm literally telling you this from my attic, but I'm begging you not to look away from Hong Kong, because we have more in common now than ever before. The tactics used to marginalize us, the tear gas thrown at us, it's the same everywhere, and we fight them the same way. So we should come together to write a future of joy and hope and change. Now is the time. Now was always the time. Gong for Hong Kong. See that coming. One more thing. I have this hat. It was given to me last year, and it does a thing. It does this.
Best Series. To present this year's Best Series Hugo, I have the privilege to present one such intrepid explorer. Last year's Triple Crown laureate, winner of the Hugo, Nebula, and Locus Awards for Best Novel, who, for her sins, is also the president of the Science Fiction Writers of America. Let's give a rousing virtual welcome to Mary Robinette Kowal.
Thank you, George. Since George has already introduced the category, I'd like to take the time to introduce you to each of the finalists. These are works that span a gamut, but all contain one thing in common: excellence in narrative over the span of not just a single novel, but a long arc of stories. These stories linger. Trying to sum them up doesn't do justice to any series, so I'm going to focus in on single quotes to give you a taste of the worlds that these books create and the lingering resonances within them. The Expanse by James S.A. Corey, Orbit US, Orbit UK. There were two sides fighting, that was true enough. But they weren't the inner planets versus the Belters. They were the people who thought it was a good idea to kill people who looked or acted differently against the people who didn't. Encrypted by Seanan McGuire, Daw. The problem with people who say monsters don't really exist is that they're almost never saying it to the monsters. Luna by Ian MacDonald, Tor Gallants. You pay taxes, but the law doesn't allow you any say in how they are spent, let alone the option to withhold them when you want to influence government policy. Planetfall by Emma Newman, Ace Gallants. That was the second major lie I told that week. It gets easier in some ways. Now I lie without expending any effort. But I think each one has its own weight. One alone may barely register, like a grain of sand in the palm of one's hand. But soon enough, there's more than can be held, and they start to slip through our grasp, if we are not careful. Winter Night Trilogy by Catherine Arden, Del Rey UK. Every time you take one path, you must live with the memory of the other, of a life left unchosen. Decide as seems best, one course or the other. Each way will have its bitter with its sweet. The Wormwood Trilogy by Todd A. Thompson. Orbit US, Orbit UK. The idea of a singular hero and a manifest destiny just makes us lazy. There is no destiny. There is choice. There is action. And any other narrative perpetuates a myth that someone else out there will fix our problems with a magic sword and a blessing from the gods. Congratulations to all of the finalists, and thank you for the power of your words. George, your turn to do the honors.
And now we go live to Santa Fe to announce the winner of the Hugo Award for Best Series.
For Best Series. Boy, this is going to really make these guys hard to live with. It's The Expanse by James S.A. Corey. Ty, Daniel. You got it.
We would like to send congratulations to Daniel Abraham and Kai Frank, writing as James S.A. Corey, for winning the Hugo Award for Best Series. Kamau Tawihi.
Daniel Abraham here. About a decade ago, Ty Frank and I started writing a series of books for giggles and pizza money, and now here we are. It is incredibly gratifying to be in this company and to be among these people, and it means a tremendous amount to us that the series has been acknowledged like this. We owe tremendous debts of gratitude to a great number of people, and we will be expressing that privately later on. Right now, we want to thank the writers who've come before us and who've been around us and who have created this genre that we are part of the conversation with. And the next generations that are coming up now and broadening that vision and broadening that conversation and broadening that perspective in ways that make it richer. Science fiction, fantasy, speculative fiction are more and more important in a world as the technology moves forward and as the questions of humanity and the ties that we have to each other become more and more at issue. Not just in our fiction, but in our world and our news. It is an incredible honor to be part of the conversation and an incredible honor to be here tonight and to be with you. And thank you all very, very much.
And that brings us, at the last, to the final four. Short story, novelette, novella, and novel. Let's see which of this year's nominees is about to have a night that they will remember forever. The finalists for Best Short Story are And Now His Lordship is Laughing by Shiv Ramdas, Strange Horizons. As the Last I May Know by S.L. Huang, Tor.com. Blood is Another Word for Hunger by River Solomon, Tor.com. A Catalogue of Storms by Fran Wilde, Uncanny Magazine. Do Not Look Back, My Lion by Alex E. Harrow, Beneath Ceaseless Skies. 10 excerpts from an annotated bibliography on the cannibal women of Ratnabar Island by Nivedita Sen, Nightmare Magazine.
And now we go live to Santa Fe to announce the winner of the Hugo Award for Best Short Story.
The winner, Best Short Story, As the Last I May Know by S.L. Huang,
would like to send congratulations to Wessel Huang for winning the Hugo Award for Best Short Story. Kamau Tawihi.
I'm Wessel Huang. This story is so hard for me. It's so hard for me to understand the atrocities that people commit against each other. And sometimes it feels like we'll never solve this, that there will always be more, whether it's 1945 or 2020 with the brutal oppression of the protesters in Hong Kong, with Black Americans being murdered on the streets here in my country and so much else around the globe. But I do believe that we can fight. We can keep pushing. We can carve out pockets of goodness in the world and keep pushing those pockets farther and farther in our countries, our industries, our communities. And thank you especially tonight to the people who speak up and stand up for justice here in science fiction and fantasy. I'd like to dedicate this award tonight to my editor for this story, Diana Gill, who also brilliantly edited all of my novels up until now. And I'm so furious and sad that the pandemic has caused her to lose her job as my editor. And Diana, I wish you all great things in the world. Thank you so much for everything. More thanks to my agents, Russell Galen and Angela Tang Kaplan, to my writing communities and crypt partners, particularly my first readers for this story, Maddox Han, Toria Hegedouche, and Rob Livermore, and my sister, always and forever. And finally, a huge shout out to my fellow short story finalists for writing some of the most absolutely amazing fiction I have read this year. You all are incredible, you blow my mind, and it has been my absolute honor to share this category with you. Thank you.
And now we come to Best Novelette. The nominees are The Chronology of Love by Caroline M. Yoakum, Lightspeed. Away with the Wolves by Sarah Gailey, Uncanny Magazine, Disabled People Destroy Fantasy Special Issue. The Blur in the Corner of Your Eye by Sarah Pinksker, Uncanny Magazine. Emergency Skin by N.K. Jemisin, Forward Collection, Amazon. For He Can Creep by Shebin Carroll, Tor.com. Omphalos by Ted Chiang, Exhalation, Borzoi, Alfred A. Knopf, Picador.
And now we go live to Santa Fe to announce the winner of the Hugo Award for Best Novelette.
And the winner for Best Novelette this year is Emergency Skin by N.K. Jemisin, Forward Collection.
We would like to send congratulations to N.K. Jemisin for winning the Hugo Award for Best Novelette. Kamau Tawihi.
Hi folks, N.K. Jemisin here. If you're seeing this, it's because I just won another Hugo. So many thanks again to the Hugo voters. And also to the folks at Amazon who helped me get this story together. That includes my editor and my copy editor there, my agent as always, my assistant for keeping me sane while I'm working on all of this stuff, and also the members of the Altered Fluid Writing Group who, as usual, helped me get my stuff together. So that's it. Stay safe, wear your masks, and I am off to work on another book, and I guess I'll be going to make some space for my new rocket. Thanks, bye.
And now we come to Best Novella. The finalists for this year's Hugo Award for Best Novella are Anxiety is the Dizziness of Freedom by Ted Chiang, Exhalation, Borzoi, Alfred A. Knopf, Picador. The Deep by Rivers Solomon, with David Diggs, William Hudson, and Jonathan Snipes. Saga Press, Gallery. The Haunting of Tramcar 015 by P. Deji Clark, Tor.com. In an Absent Dream by Seanan Maguire, Tor.com. This is How You Lose the Time War by Amal A. Motar and Max Gladstone, Saga Press, Joe Fletcher Books. To Be Taught If Fortunate by Becky Chambers, Harper Voyager, Hodder and Stoughton. And the winner is...
We would like to send congratulations to Amal El Motar and Alex Gladstone for winning the Hugo Award for Best Novella. Kamal Tawihi.
On the screen. I heard it on the live stream and the other. Okay, all right.
Great.
Yore, everybody.
Hello, Max.
Whoa,
take it away.
Hey, yeah, I was the one who's okay. Kia ora, everyone. We are so honored to accept this award. Thank you so much, everyone who's read and loved This Is How You Use the Time War. Everyone who voted for it in a year when our fellow finalists are just so staggeringly brilliant. We admire you and your work so much. And it's been a real honor to be a part of this cohort.
We're forever grateful to everyone who helped make all of this possible, to all the volunteers at CoNZealand who've been working so hard to do absolutely unprecedented work on this scale. Thank you so much to all of the stuff that you've done to make this possible. And everyone who made our book possible. To Nava Wolf, the best editor we could have hoped for, and the best editor!
Two up, two down.
Anyway, yes, to Dongwon Song, our extraordinary agent, and to everyone at Saga Press and Joe Fletcher Books who worked to get our book into the world, including but not limited to Greg Stadnick, Molly Powell, Joe Fletcher, and Millie Reed.
I'd like to thank my wife, Stephanie, always and forever. My parents and my sister also for their constant support ever since I was, phonetically spelling stories in scrap notebooks. Bob and Sally Neely, who've given copies of my books to literally everyone they know, I think. To Uncle Danny, who gave me Zelazny and Liber, and Uncle Paul, who gave me the Star Trek VHS tapes back when those were a thing. It's just... love you all.
I want to thank my husband Stu for everything from tea to terrible puns to being extremely nervous with me throughout this. And I want to thank my parents and siblings for a lifetime of cheering on my writing, for their steadiness and their constancy in the face of so many upheavals. I can never thank them enough.
Annual celebrations, anniversaries, cons, they have a way of kind of sneaking up on you. There's a cascading lightning quality to the memories they evoke. You're living your everyday life, and then all of a sudden you cross some invisible threshold, and there you are, connected with last year and the year before, all the way back to the beginning, and sometimes even earlier than that.
For many of us, this Worldcon may feel like a break in a chain, but we invite you to think of it instead as a broadening of space, a widening of our circles. In a sense, this is as world as the con has ever been. It's a vision of Worldcon where the only borders are lines in time.
To travel in time, you have to understand time. There's no one history of the world. Every telling leaves things and people out, but everything that happens has happened.
We're taught history as if it's a letter written from the past and addressed to us. But if that's true, it's a letter from a sibyl or a spy, elusive, full of hidden meanings and secret writing. The work of a lifetime is learning to read between the lines and then learning to reply.
You can't write back to the past. You can only write to the future. So, write.
Right? We have always fucking been here.
Right? It doesn't have to be like this.
Right? It gets better because we will make it better together.
Right? This is how we win.
Kia ora. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
So we have one more category, and that brings us at last to the final award of the evening. The big one, Best Novel. The finalists for Best Novel are
The City in the Middle of the Night by Charlie Jane Anders, Tor, Titan. Gideon the Ninth by Tamsin Muir, Tor.com. The Light Brigade by Cameron Hurley, Saga. A Memory Called Empire by Arkady Martine, Tor. Middle Game by Seanan McGuire, Tor.com. The 10,000 Doors of January by Alex E. Harrow, Red Hook, Orbit.
And now we go live to Santa Fe to announce the winner of the Hugo Award for Best Novel.
And the big one, Best Novel, goes to A Memory Called Empire by Arkady Martine. Congratulations, Arkady.
We would like to send congratulations to Arkady Martine for winning the Hugo Award for Best Novel. Kamal Zewihi.
Hi. Wow. Thank you all so very, very much. This is rather overwhelming, as you might expect, but I'm going to do my best to tell you how grateful I am for your choice in giving this book the 2020 Best Novel Hugo. It's an especially sharp honor to receive this award for my first novel. It's a kind of welcome, an invitation to stay, a gesture of hospitality from all of you, and a gesture that I deeply appreciate and which I wish so very profoundly was more easily extended to the authors, artists, editors, and fans of color who deserve as much hospitality as I do. A Memory Called Empire is in some ways a book about the inhospitability of so much of the universe, the inhospitability of culture, of origins, of desire, the pull of exile and the counterpull of dominance, the empire and its edges, the knife that hurts more because you loved it before it cut you. I think a great deal about what it means to be welcome in a place. I wrote a book which considers whether someone can ever truly be made welcome. In this current world, where we are isolated by illness and by political corruption, where I have listened all night to the tension between an idealized, simpler past and a complex, difficult, and brilliant present, where all the lines of exile and longing for familiarity are drawn ever tighter and more painful, I'm still not sure about the answer to that question. In my book, I let Mahit Bismar have a version of an answer. For her, to be welcomed into the heart of the empire is to lose the ability to truly go home inside her own mind. For me, that's actually a hopeful answer. For me, a person who cannot stop writing about exile and about desire, who is an American and a Jew and a climate activist and a historian, and who keeps falling in love with things bigger than her head, however unwisely. It is a hopeful answer to know that there is not a solution, not a good one. But right here and right now, I feel like I might summon up a different sort of answer for myself about welcome in this corner of the universe that I share with you all, virtually at the moment, but also cross-temporally, stretched from the time when I first read science fiction as a child and thought, oh, I wish I could talk to the writer who made this and ask them how and why and whether I've noticed the right things about it. From there all the way to now, and from now for the rest of my life going forward. Here I have been made welcome. Thank you for inviting me in. Thank you for seeing the work that I'm trying to do and the sort of stories I'm trying to tell. What doors I can hold open and what belaying ropes I can send back down, I will. I want to thank my father, who gave me science fiction when I was far too small to know better. We called it science affliction, and I am gladly afflicted at the moment. My mother, who had the temerity to ask me if I was quitting academia to be a writer. She was right, and I denied it when she asked me. To my magnificent agent, Dongwon Song, and my brilliant editor, David Pillai, who combined to make me write all the parts of this book that should have been there all along. And always, and most importantly, to my wife, Viv, all of the stories are for you. You hang the stars, and I couldn't do this without you. Thank you all again so much.
Hi, I'm Tammy Coxon, this year's Hugo Awards Administrator. The Hugo Awards are one of the most important parts of the Worldcon and how we recognize the contributions of creators and professionals in the field. But I want to take just a moment to also recognize the contributions of hundreds of volunteers who give thousands of hours of their time, because without them, there would be no Worldcon to present the Hugo Awards. I especially want to thank my amazing and tireless Hugo administration team who went above and beyond the call of duty. And I want to thank the 1,584 fans who nominated works for the awards and the 2,221 who voted. We know from when your ballots came in that you were reading up to the very last minute so you could make the most informed decisions possible. Thank you.
And that's it.
I'm Larry Dixon. And I'm Mercedes Lackey. We'd like to congratulate all of the nominees and all of the Hugo winners for 2020. That's right. You've been part of the first ever virtual Hugo Awards, and congratulations to everyone. You make history again.